Spanking, a harsh form of corporeal punishment, involves hitting a person's buttocks to cause physical pain. This practice, often leaving lasting marks both physically and emotionally, can include using hands or specific implements like belts, canes, paddles, and slippers. Corporal punishment, which means causing pain to change or punish behavior, has changed over the centuries. However, spanking remains one of the most controversial methods. Some countries have banned spanking everywhere, including in homes, schools, and prisons, although other countries still allow spanking. Imagine going through this kind of punishment, both the immediate pain and the long-term scars. How would it make you feel? In this video, we explore this type of punishment in great detail and everything it involves. Before we start, it's important to understand what corporal punishment means and how it began. Using pain to correct or punish someone's behavior is called corporal punishment. In the past, most punishments, whether given at home, by law, or in schools, included physical pain. As humanity has progressed and acknowledged everyone's human rights, particularly children's, the practice of physical punishment has decreased and is now prohibited in many countries. Although we don't know exactly when it started, physical punishment was definitely used for discipline and teaching in ancient Greece, Rome, and Egypt. Although scourging and other forms of spanking, such as birching, were very popular during those times. The most popular type of physical punishment is spanking. According to modern definitions, spanking is a form of corporal punishment involving the act of hitting the buttocks with an open hand or a variety of tools like a cane, belt, or strap. Different kinds of whips like the martinet and the tawse, a switch or other type of rod, a paddle, or various everyday items made for different uses, like a hairbrush, a wooden spoon, a bath brush, a wooden ruler, or a slipper. Before we continue, did you know that boys are spanked more often than girls, both at home and in school? To learn more interesting facts about different forms of punishments, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Let's move ahead. Although the concept of spanking seems miserable, there were more than a few types of spanking that received widespread popularity during their time. Some of the examples include caning, birching, and strapping. While there were numerous other examples, some were more popular than others. Firstly, caning is a form of corporal punishment that involves repeatedly striking or cutting the buttocks, shoulders, wrists, palms, or even the soles of the feet with a wooden cane. The cane's size and flexibility, as well as the quality and manner of stroke application, differ greatly. Flagellation was so popular as a form of discipline in England that it is referred to as the English vice, along with spanking and whipping. Secondly, birching is a kind of physical punishment that involves using a birch rod on the bare buttocks. The back or shoulders are also occasionally used as targets. A bundle of leafless twigs linked together to serve as a tool for inflicting corporal punishment is called a birch rod. Before caning became more and more frequent in the middle of the 19th century, it was the most common form of punishment in courts and schools throughout Europe, and even participated in the French Revolution. Today, birching is rarely used as a legal punishment and has almost disappeared as a way to discipline children. And lastly, strapping refers to the use of a strap as a tool for physical punishment. Usually a broad, thick leather strip with a stiff grip, the more flexible part of the blade, is used. Sometimes a leather paddle and the word strap are used together, most likely because of the stiffness. The terms belting, lashing, and whipping are also equivalent. This punishment was thought to have serious consequences because the person being strapped had the danger of possibly dying from repeated strikes. Spanking in any shape or form can have devastating effects. While, in fact, international data suggests that a lot of kids have been spanked, close to 300 million worldwide as of 2017, according to UNICEF. Traditionally, corporal punishment of children is legal, unless specifically banned. According to a 2014 estimate by Human Rights Watch, 90% of the world's children live in countries where corporal punishment is still legal. In the United States, many parents spank their children as a form of punishment, but support for this practice is decreasing among parents. Spanking usually involves one or more slaps on the child's buttocks with a bare hand, but sometimes objects like a hairbrush or paddle are used. In the past, corporal punishment in schools, often using a paddle, was common in many countries. However, it is now banned in most of the Western world. According to a Harvard study, children who have been spanked in preschool, school, or even as adults are more likely to experience anxiety and depression disorders, as well as issues interacting effectively with others in the classroom and developing social skills that are essential for students to succeed in life. Parents frequently spank their children to encourage better behavior and obedience, particularly to stop them from acting out in a seemingly hostile manner. However, studies have demonstrated that physical punishment, including spanking, has the opposite impact. When parents physically discipline their kids, the kids eventually learn to obey them less and start acting more aggressively, even toward other kids. The child's belief that hitting is the appropriate method to express anger and frustration appears to be reflected in this rise in aggressive behavior. Now, you may ask yourself, why does hitting someone make them act more violently? The answer is simple. Children who witness their parents hitting are probably picking up on the idea that hitting is appropriate conduct and a legitimate method of discipline. Furthermore, studies indicate that youngsters may become more aggressive by imitating the aggressive behavior of others. Spanking not only makes kids act more aggressively, but it's also linked to increased mental health issues, low self-esteem, cognitive difficulties, and disrupted parent-child interactions. Severe physical punishment has even been linked to developmental issues in the brain. Additionally, harsh behaviors like verbal abuse, humiliation, and yelling have been linked to similar results. Since then, humanity has advanced significantly, and numerous measures have been implemented to make sure that cruel punishments, such as these, do not persist in modern times. The public has been made aware of the error of the weak spanking technique and its inappropriate application in the fields of parenting, education, and professional work. Because it fails to provide the anticipated effect of making its victims fearful, obedient, or disciplined. Research indicates that when it comes to parenting, parents aren't necessarily to blame for using physical punishment. Among the causes are things like the lessons they learned as children, psychological elements like stress, and various family situations. Therefore, assistance can be given to families or caregivers who experience these problems, giving them the resources they need to discover alternative methods of establishing discipline. In order to prevent the use of such punishments, parents can use abuse-free alternatives in order to ensure that their child, or even themselves, can learn to understand that violence is not always the first resort. Actions like time-outs, which help children develop the valuable life skill of self-control. Losing privileges, such as not being allowed to watch TV for the day, teaches children to make better decisions for themselves in the future. They will eventually learn that behaving politely is the best way to have their needs met. Take small steps to prevent their children from developing an abusive personality in the future. At the time, spanking was seen as an effective way to create fear and order. However, it often caused long-term side effects, including mental and physical trauma for the victims. Nowadays, humanity has grown way past this, and especially with the importance of human rights, these barbaric methods have undergone a massive decline to the point where they are no longer a valid option, whether it's in the case of education, parenting, or profession. What are your thoughts about spanking? Let us know in the comments below, and we'll see you in the next video. For more videos about punishment and crime, subscribe to our channel, smash that like button, share with your friends, and stay tuned for exclusive content.